Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Let's talk about these fights. I'm on the front porch. You may hear a little something this early morning. You already know. We're going to start from the bottom of the card, work our way to the top. We won't hit every fight, but we'll skim through. At the end of the video, I'll let you know how I did on my bets. And let's just start this off. So, first fight was Jacqueline Amorim and Loma. Good fight, good quick finish. She was our live dog of the night. At the time of making that video, she was a pick'em. So she came through for us in that spot. I had a straight money line bet on Jacqueline for sure. So I was definitely happy she won. Rodrigo Vera and Zhu. So I told you guys about Rodrigo Vera when we were talking about Juan Diaz and Malcolm Willmaker. And I told you then I thought he was a really good fighter. You got to see it this morning. He's definitely good, man, and that's just the striking. He hasn't even shown his grappling in the UFC yet. That was his first fight. He showed off some power in the hands. So and he has really good grappling as well. He's a very well-rounded fighter. So I'm excited to see him in the UFC. I'm happy he's here, and I'm excited to see who he gets matched up with next, because that was a really good win, short notice fight. Great for Rodrigo for sure. Angela Hill, bro, is Angela Hill not the Neil Magny of the strawweight division? Like, it's crazy. 40 years old, 41 years old, comes back, goes out there and don't get me wrong, Jean Nan is 38, so she's not like a spring chicken herself, but and Jean Nan was very disappointing, by the way. Angela Hill looked amazing with the striking. She looked amazing. Jean Nan looked terrible. She threw hooks the entire night. And that weird little hammer fist, almost like a step-in elbow to a hammer fist. I don't know. I hate when I see fighters throwing that punch. A step-in elbow is cool, but that little hammer fist punch thing, I don't know. The tomahawk punch, whatever they call it, I think it's retarded. It's telegraphed. It does. I've never seen that punch hurt somebody and rock somebody, knock somebody out. It's just a wasteful punch. And she threw hooks all night, and that was it. Just big hooks. She didn't mix in any kind of clinch work, any kind of grappling. It seemed as if her plan A, B, C was just to strike, and when none of that worked, plan D was just to lose the fight. So Angela Hill shows out again. Nothing wrong with that. Luis Garul, man, listen, that's crazy. That's super crazy. Like, what the hell? I pick Luis, he loses. I don't pick Luis, he wins. It's ridiculous. I'm wondering if he's going to stick around in the UFC or if they're going to cut him, because they've been cutting some pretty good fighters, and Luis Garul doesn't seem to be pretty good. So I don't know. Cody Haddon did his thing. Love some Cody Haddon. He did his thing in that night this morning. One thing I don't like about these fighters sometimes, when they get up there, they win their fight, and then they start begging for a bonus. And he was begging hard. That is so cringe to me. It's so cringe, because if you want the bonus, go out there, put on a highlight reel performance, and you'll get a bonus. Simple as that. You don't have to beg for it when your work, when your work speaks for itself. You don't have to beg for a performance bonus. Let your work do the talking. And when your work doesn't do the talking, then you start begging. Listen, if you're that broke, bro, get a job. Like, go get a job, bro. Like, you can still train. Just go get a job. If you're so broke where you're begging the way he was, and I hate when fighters do that, man. It's so cringe to me. I just hate when fighters do that, especially in a night like in the morning like we had this morning with the fights. A lot of great fights on there, a lot of great finishes. I'm sorry, Cody, you had a great fight, but in comparison to the other fights on the card, not worthy of a performance bonus. I'm sorry. If it's that bad in your life, bro, where you're begging for money and you're completely broke, just go get a job, bro. Like, what happened? And maybe this is just an American thing, but what happened to pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? You know what I'm saying? What happened to that shit? I don't know. Mean Ding let us down. Jose did his thing. Now, with Jose, I'm not big on the whole jab and run away from you fighting style. I don't really like that fighting style. I feel like you're using footwork and your jab to more so start out the fight. he was kind of aggressive towards the end, so I give him grace. But Mean Ding was terrible. He looked terrible, and what made me the most upset with Mean Ding is like Gene Lon. There was no plan B, plan C, or plan D. It was only plan A, and if plan A wasn't working, the plan was to lose the fight. Because I feel like he was, like Michael Bisping said during the fight, he was working his way in and getting, he was closing the distance and getting Jose up against the fence and closing the distance on him and getting in there and then not throwing anything and bagging all the way back out. And it's like, why do you keep closing the distance on a striker that's taller than you, has a longer reach than you, and then once you finally get in there and close the distance, you back all the way back out, back at range where he is being more effective? It was very poor fight IQ. Never tried to clinch. Never tried to work in some kind of grappling just to give Jose something else to think about. It was a terrible, terrible performance by him. Terrible performance. Luis Felipe Diaz. I had a straight money line bet on him as well. Worked out great. He goes out there, and within the first like 30 seconds, you realize he's about to knock this guy out. You realize that almost immediately. Um, I'm sorry, not Alvarez. Perez and Sumadarji, let down of a fight, no contest. So avoided on the parlay, so not a big deal, but no contest. So we'll move on. Jake Matthews did well, controlled the fight all 3 rounds. In my opinion, won all 3 rounds for the most part. Jake Matthews did well. That fight went as expected to go. Kai Asakura was my lock of the night, and Kai Asakura did very well. Quick finish, fast hands, good combos. He didn't have to worry about the takedowns and was able just to let his hands go. And Cameron Smotherman, I feel bad for him because this was a really big jump in competition for him. I know he's had a lot of fights, but they've all been against trash cans until he got to the UFC. Outside of the Jake Hatley fight, who I think is also a trash can, he's fought some good competition since Jake Hadley, and he has not looked good in any of those fights. I think he needs a major step down in competition. He needs like a reset or something because I knew Kai Asakura was going to whoop him like that. That's why I put a straight money line bet on him. I was very confident in Kai. Sergey and Taliesin. Now, Sergey showed Cody Haddon what a bonus winning performance looks like. Sergey was throwing bombs, man. And the problem with Taliesin is that he gets hit clean too often. I can guarantee you, because I've seen it at the gym before, you get these really big guys like that who are sparring and moving around with guys who aren't as big as they are or aren't as strong as they are and can't really hurt them. For Taliesin, I don't know who he spars with or whatever, but as far as like fighting goes, if you see his fights on the regional scene, it looks like it's against guys who can't really hurt him. And he's so much bigger than them. When they do land, it's not really impactful shots. And same with his Contender Series fight. He was getting, the guy was landing on him, but they weren't very impactful. So when you get to the UFC, these heavyweights are going to try to knock your head off your shoulders, and you can't just get touched like that. And he still has that tall guy defense to where he just pulls his head back and puts his hands out like this and just pulls his head back. And that's a recipe for disaster. You knew he was going to get touched up, and knowing he's going to get touched up by a guy like Sergey, you know he's going to sleep. So that was a great performance by Sergey. And then right after that, we get Atomic Minifield to go knock out Ming Yang. And this really made me upset because Ming Yang was the last leg in a 7-leg parlay I had that I was doing well with. And Ming Yang goes out there and just gets bombed on, man. He just gets bombed on. It was absolutely terrible for Ming Yang. Terrible fight. Gets bombed on, gets put out early, crushes a parlay, is what it is. Up until this point, none of the Chinese fighters are winning. It's just terrible for the Chinese fighters. And last fight was Song Yadong. I put a straight money line bet on him as well. And Song Yadong did his thing. That first round, he was a little more patient than I would have liked. But if you notice something with Davis and Figueiredo, moving up a weight class has not done him so much justice. When he was at 125, he was able to walk guys down, use his power. The guys at 125 couldn't really hurt him. Well, on this level, 135, these guys can hurt him, and he doesn't have the size advantage that he's used to being able to have at 125. So it's a much different fight up here at 135 for him, and we're starting to see that as he gets higher in the rankings. He's beaten some good guys at 135, but against the top guys, he hasn't shown that same aggression that he was showing at 125. So Song Yadong did his thing. The only Chinese fighter to win. He brought it home for China, so that's definitely what's up. But overall, I believe he went 8-4-1. One being the Alex Perez fight. I would have liked Alex Perez to win. It would have brought us to 9-4, which is pretty good. But 8-4, not very satisfied with that. Now, onto the betting real quick. So, I've told you guys before, I've been using the Novig app lately or whatever to do my betting with, and they didn't have the option for the Jean Nan and Angela Hill fight, so I ended up going on FanDuel and put in my 2-3 legs that I posted on YouTube and on FanDuel, and neither one of those hit. I had like $4 some change on FanDuel, so I split it and put 2 and 2. $2 on one parlay and $2 on another parlay, and they ended up not hitting, of course. So on my Novig app, though, now this is where I cleaned up, man. So on the Novig app, I had a 7-leg parlay in, and I put $5 on that one. That did not go through. That did not play out well for me. And then I had a straight money line bet on Jacqueline Lamorum. That was a $20 bet that won me $35, $15 profit. I had a straight money line bet on Luis Felipe Diaz. That was $25, which ended up giving me a $38 profit, or $38, which is a $13 profit. And then we had a $10 bet on Song Yadong, which gave me a $12 payout, which is like a $2 profit. So all in all, I made about $30 in profit, if I'm not mistaken. If you count the 5 I lost, 25 in profit. So 25 in profit is pretty good. Happy about that. Profitable night. If you count the $4 off of FanDuel, then it's 20. But we'll just leave around $25 as profit, you know. So yeah, good night of profit. Wish it could have went better. Like I said, 8-4, not terrible, but not what I want to do. I don't like to get more than 3 wrong. And like I say, with the parlays, we got 8 fights right. So we just have to find, and I'm usually getting 8 or more right each night. So we have to find the right combination of the correct picks so we can make this money. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back next week with a betting strategy video. And I'll have the predictions up probably tomorrow night or Monday morning. So see you guys next week. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And talk to me in the comments. Let me know how your night went with the bets.